Good afternoon and welcome to the daily briefing in St. Clair County, where we're joined by Chairman Mark Kern and Sam Bierman from the Health Department. And as always, Sam has our numbers for us today, and a little bit high.
They are a little high. Not one of our best days we've had lately. So as of today, 6,742 tests have been performed in St. Clair County, with 1,167 positive test results, which is an increase of 33 from yesterday, and that does include both males and females from their teens up to their 80s. We are at 5,505 negative test results, with 70 test results still pending. We do have some sad news to announce today. We are reporting 3 additional deaths, which brings our total to 92. The first was a male in his 80s, and the second 2 were both females in their 90s, and all 3 did have underlying health conditions. And as always, our sympathies go out to those families. For those who have completed the IDPH required 14-day quarantine, we are at 736. For state totals, 829,966 people have been tested, with 115,833 positive test results, which is an increase of 1,527 from yesterday. And for the state, we are reporting 5,186 deaths, which is an increase of 103 from yesterday. For hospitalization numbers, and these are for hospitals that are in St. Clair County, currently 61 patients are admitted due to COVID-related reasons, and 4 of those patients are on ventilators. For congregate living facilities that are in outbreak status, and that is 2 or more staff or residents that are either COVID positive or who have COVID-like symptoms, Brea of Belleville has 24 cases and 3 deaths. Brea of Cahokia has 8 cases and no deaths. Caritas Family Solutions in Belleville has 11 cases and no deaths. Caseyville Nursing and Rehab has 3 cases and no deaths. Cedarhurst of Shiloh has 11 cases and no deaths. Cedar Ridge of Lebanon has 4 cases and no deaths. Colonnade Senior Living in O'Fallon has 4 cases and no deaths. Four Fountains in Belleville has 104 cases and 23 deaths. Help at Home in Belleville has 2 cases and no deaths. Help at Home in O'Fallon has 5 cases and no deaths. Knollwood Retirement Center in Caseyville currently has 8 cases and 1 death. Lebanon Care Center in Lebanon has 52 cases and 10 deaths. Memorial Care Center in Belleville has 43 cases and 5 deaths. New Athens Home for the Aged has 38 cases and 3 deaths. St. Paul's Home in Belleville has 37 cases and 11 deaths. Swansea Rehab and Care Center has 9 cases and no deaths. And finally, TDL Incorporated in Belleville has 4 cases and no deaths. And I will turn it over to Chairman Kern for his update.
Thank you, Sam. So as we look at the numbers, so there were 317 people tested since yesterday, or at least that's the increase in the numbers, and 33 new. So those percentages are still looking pretty good for us. We're staying below that 20% level. But the number that we pay attention to are the people that have entered the hospital with COVID-related illnesses. That's the scary thing, and that's why we're still here talking to you, saying social distance, wear your mask, wash your hands. We had 48 hospitalizations on Tuesday. Today we're up to 61. That's an increase of 13. Those are 13 people that are in the hospital that were sick enough to go there. Hopefully everything works out for them. But this virus is still out there, and that's why we just have to remain vigilant. And with a few precautions that we take, not going out as much, certainly is an option for some people that are elderly or have pre-existing conditions should certainly consider that. But certainly when you go out, wear that mask. It's not just to protect you, but it's really there to protect others, just in case you're carrying this virus and you don't know that you have it. All these things, these rules are still going to hold long into the summer, but we're going to be able to get out and do a little bit more. We're entering phase 3 tomorrow, so you'll be able to get back to somewhat regular trade with your retail stores, with your bars and restaurants. at least on an outdoor basis with the restaurants and bars. Also, later today, Governor Pritzker is going to come out with his guidance on churches and faith-based institutions. I think there are going to be some changes in that, so we're going to be taking a look at that. We'll talk about it tomorrow and have that distilled for you, just in case you're still curious about it. It's important to us. You know, churches are always have been the backbone of this community, and the sooner we can get people back congregating again, the better off we're all going to be. So we'll move into the zip code report now. Remember that if you don't hear your zip code, it doesn't mean you don't have a COVID positive diagnosis in your zip code. It just means that that hasn't risen above the level of 5 in your zip code yet. Our first zip code today, 62059. We remain at 7. 62201, we're now at 16. That's an increase of 1. 62203, we're now at 38. That's an increase of 2. 62204, we're now at 45. That's an increase of 2. 62205, we remain at 44. 62206, we're now at 97. That's an increase of 3. 62207, we're now at 68. That's an increase of 1. 62208, we're now at 69. That's an increase of 2. 62220, we increased by 1 today to 131. 62221, we're now at 101. That's an increase of 2. 62223, we remain at 48. 62226 remains static at 128. 62232 remains at 19. 62239 remains at 13. 62243 remains at 8. 62254 goes up by 1 to 28. 62257 goes up to 10, an increase of 2. 62258 remains at 16. 62260 is now at 7. That's an increase of 1. 62264 is now at 38. That's an increase of 2. 62269 sits at 69. That stays the same. And 62285 increased by 1 today to 11. So that's the zip codes. Herb?
On the EMA side, we had 14 agencies, first responders, pick up supplies today. We were expecting another shipment today, but the truck broke down. We had everybody ready here. It was supposed to be a large shipment. So when they couldn't find another driver, it'll be here tomorrow. So we're excited about getting another of that orders in there. And we'll get them out to our agencies. We tell you each and every day, as the chairman said, we're watching these numbers, watching the hospitalization. We appreciate all of you who leave your comments on these briefings. We try to answer as many of them as possible. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer because we have other things we're doing also. But if you have a question, we always try to get them answered for you. We appreciate the support. We know you don't always agree with everything you're hearing. Everybody has their own opinion, and that's fine. Our opinion is that Team St. Clair is here to make sure the citizens of our county are getting the most recent, up-to-date information as possible. And this is the only way we know how to do it to you. So we'll continue to bring you that information. We'll be back here tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 for the next briefing. Cindy and Daisy will be back here momentarily to translate this into our Spanish communities. Have a good evening.